It's time for the Rutherford County High School Football Show. Today's show is brought to you by Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa is your hometown plastic surgeon and has been voted your favorite for the last several years. Dr. Webb and staff are honored to wish you a safe and successful football season. And now, from Toots Restaurant in Murfreesboro, please welcome the hosts of the Rutherford County High School Football Show, Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould.
We're here at Toots Restaurant on Broad Street, giving you everything you need to know about high school football here in Rutherford County. Alongside me is the Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale. My name is Nick Gould with Main Street Media and Main Street Media TV. High school football kicked off last weekend, and we're going to be seeing a lot more Thursday night games this year. I heard they were having issues kind of keeping the officiating crew, and so now they're going to open up on Thursday, play ball there to kind of spread things around. Main Street Media will be broadcasting live every Thursday from our selected game of the week. This broadcast is available to stream on our Main Street Media radio app, and audio will be simulcasted to Main Street Media TV. Last week, our game of the week was right here in Rutherford County at Laverne High School. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
So our first segment for Laverne High School is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control. Moxie Pest Control is your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. What do you got for us this week, Monty?
All right, well, Laverne, really nice win for them. They really labored offensively, but they played outstanding defense, and you go into that fourth quarter, it's no score, and then lo and behold, it was the defense that got the first score. So they actually take a 2-0 lead on West Creek, and then later added a touchdown by Davian Brown, who was actually filling in for a injured running back. So they're up 9-0, feeling pretty good. West Creek scored late, but Laverne was able to run out the football and win. So all in all, a good win. Probably would want to, I don't know how serious the injury was to E.J. Robinson, but the Brown kid stepped in. Like I said, a 17-yard touchdown run and, really put the game away. So for Laverne, they're off to a 1-0 start for the first time in a while. And, looking, of course, they've got a big game this week. Matter of fact, it will be our game of the week. Laverne will travel to Siegel, both of them 1-0, so we'll get into that a little later.
Awesome. Well, I guess that'll wrap up the recap there for Laverne. Let's see. Who do we have next?
We've got Siegel.
Well, let's get right into Siegel. That's brought to you by Garbison Construction. Garbison Construction provides quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects here in Rutherford County. What do you got for us this week?
I have the shootout of the week. 98 points scored in this game. 55-43, Siegel wins, and it was all Thomas Santil, senior quarterback. I do not remember a game of this gaudy stats that he put up the other night. He counted for 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
Threw for 5, threw for 331 yards. He rushed for 2 and rushed for over 200 yards and finished with 540 yards in total offense by himself. Now, there's some teams that will take them 2 weeks to get 540 yards. So, like I said, just a remarkable performance. Caleb Watson had 3 touchdown passes. Drew Hostetter, he caught 4 balls and had over 100 yards and 2 touchdown passes. And Terrian Grant, outstanding recruit in Rutherford County. He's going to get some big-time offers if he hasn't already gotten them. He had 2 catches for 82 yards and a score. Defense, I don't know. Was not at the game, but I know for whatever Shelbyville had, Thomas said Santil had an answer for it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. You think Siegel's they're ready to make the next step and make it to the playoffs?
Not if they give up 43 a game,
Yeah.
but that's the first week, and Shelby obviously got on a roll. But I think I really do. Coach Renshaw, Adam Renshaw's done a great job there. They've gotten better every year. They were 5-0 last year in their non-conference games, but they didn't win a region game. This year, I think they're poised to do that. The region's got a little different look. Coffee County's coming in, and then of course Stewart's Creek left. So I think that first spot is still Oakland. Maybe Riverdale. They're back on the uptick, and then after that, I think it's pretty wide open. So
Yeah.
I think they got a good shot.
Well, I guess even though it's a non-region game, this is still important win for Siegel.
Oh yeah, they're trying to get confidence week after week. And they've been in games. This is a game they might have let get away from them a couple of years ago, even though they were playing at a high level. But they've got some veteran kids, some veteran leadership. And like I said, their coaching staff's done a really good job.
Awesome. Let's see. We'll be covering that preview here in a little bit. But that was our Siegel recap, brought to you by Garbison Construction, providing quality construction services for additions, remodels on new construction and residential and commercial projects here in Rutherford County. All right, we're moving on. Who do you got next for us?
Let's move on to Riverdale. They played Smyrna, so we kind of got to.
Yeah.
We'll hit on Riverdale. 36-0 win.
So we got Riverdale, and that's going to be brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. What do you got for us, Monty?
All right, Riverdale last year lost this game 15-5. Riverdale, in Rutherford County, with the exception of Oakland, things are very, very cyclical. You may be up for a couple of years and you may take a step back down. That has not happened at Oakland, but most programs fall under that category. Riverdale was replacing a lot of players last year, and they dropped to 6-5 and got beat in the first round of the playoffs. Whereas Smyrna, they had a lot of really good players, and not only did they finish second in their region, but they went on and won a first-round playoff game for the first time in forever. So it was kind of Smyrna's year last year, not so much Riverdale's. Now those roles are reversed coming into this game. Senior quarterback Brandon Graham hurt a lot last year. Now, he tried to hang with Santil at Siegel. He threw for 5 touchdowns. So they've got a lot of weapons. Brock Montgomery is going to Miami. Well, he's committed to Miami of Ohio. Keyshawn Williams missed last year with a knee injury. He's a freak of an athlete. I mean, he's going to have a lot of people knocking at his doors. And then they got a good running game with DJ Taylor and Isaiah Burser up front. They were not very good last year, but they're experienced. They're better, and defensively, they're always pretty salty back there. So, what Riverdale did, that game didn't necessarily surprise me, other than maybe the final. It's just like I said, some years it's your year, and then you've got to rebuild. It's just like a program rebuilding, and they've done a full rebuild. They looked really good the other night.
That's awesome. Well, as we segue into Smyrna, Smyrna's segment is going to be brought to you by the Yard Sale Store. All products up to 90% off. Do we have any more about Smyrna? What were you thinking? You kind of surprised with that loss? Or?
No, I wasn't surprised at the loss. The outcome, yes.
Yeah.
But then, when you go back and you look at it, man, they lost some dogs, no pun intended, being the Bulldogs. I mean, you take Arian Carter, Gatorade Player of the Year, Mr. Football. He just a really intelligent football player. And from the reports I've heard out of Knoxville, he already looks like an SEC linebacker. Now he's just got to figure things out. Well, he's figured it out. And so you can forget about him redshirting that. He is going to play a lot. Okay, you lose him, and you lost him on both sides of the ball. Okay, they lost a 3-year starting quarterback. They lost two really good defensive linemen. I mean, they've lost a ton. So they're playing a lot of puppies right now. I hate to keep referring to the dogs and stuff, but anyway, and they're going to they're going to have to take some lumps, but sometimes as the coach, Coach Matt Williams after the game, he goes, you just got to tip your hat to the opponent sometimes. And one other thing I will mention about that game, they kind of called it the Bobby Bowl. Bobby Wells, longtime football coach here in Rutherford County, Superman, a really gentleman of the game. He passed away recently, and he coached at both those schools. And both the coaches talked about how big of a mentor he was to them, and they recognized him before the game, and the players wore his initials on their helmets. So it was a really, really nice touch between the two.
It's awesome. All right, well, that wraps up our Smyrna segment, brought to you by the Yard Sales Store. All items up to 90% off there. All right, moving on. We got a couple more to get. We doing Eagleville next?
Yes, we got Eagleville.
We got Eagleville, brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee.
All righty, Eagleville beats PCA 14-0. Eagleville, not surprising there. They've been doing this a long time. PCA, a new program. We'll get more into them. Mm-hmm. But one thing about Eagleville, they play defense. Now, they've had some years they were really explosive offensively, but you're going to have to earn your yards against them. They don't make a lot of bad decisions, jumping off sides, things like that, keep drives alive. They don't do that. They play really good disciplined football. They had a good running game. They got a new quarterback, Brody McLemore. He does a little bit of everything. He can play running back. He can play receiver. He plays defensive back. He's playing quarterback. He rushed for about 55 yards and threw for 84 and a touchdown. So he managed the game. That's what Coach Floyd Walker wants him to do. You hear that a lot in college and pros too. Just manage the game and don't make mistakes. So he was able to do that defensively. I will mention Houston Reddick and DeJuan McCary had 6 tackles, and Beckett Pogue had an interception on defense. So it was a good start for them. Obviously, I know they're going to get into some games. They're going to have to move the numbers on offense because they've got a tough schedule ahead of them. They're a perennial playoff team. I expect them to be this year just because of that defense.
Yeah. Let's see. You think Eagleville will be a playoff team this year?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if they'll win. I don't know if they'll win their region or not. Moore County's they're going to be pretty tough, and there's a couple other teams. One thing they are happy about, Fayetteville City's no longer in their region, and they've owned it for 10 years. So that'll help them. What they're trying to get over the hump is it's not getting to the playoffs; it's winning when you get there.
Yeah.
So
that's a struggle. All right, well, that wraps up Eagleville this week. That was brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service, serving all of Middle Tennessee. Let's jump right into PCA. That is also brought to you by Moxie Pest Control. What were your thoughts about PCA's first 11-man game?
I think it was pretty solid. I think a lot of people thought they would get blown out in the first game. They play 8-man the last 2 years. They went out. I know Coach Ferguson, never in the moral victory business, but I talked to him for, our preview tab, and he said, he goes, we don't necessarily have goals. We have values and ideals. You go out there and play hard and leave it there. That's all I'm asked, And so I believe they certainly did that the first night. And, it's exciting for them. They've made so much strides really within all their athletics. I mean, shoot, they build a new gym. They're going to have a football field. They're playing at MTSU right now, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be fine. I don't know what it's going to look like at the end of the year with the wins and losses, and neither does anybody else. But they got some games that they can compete with people, and they got some games they're probably going to get a little overwhelmed. Just because of the talent, and two, the experience that they've had.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else about PCA for this week?
Just that it's fun to. What encourages me, they've got good numbers. I mean, they've got 45, 50 kids out, and they're young. I mean, they have very few seniors, and they're the ones that started this. Those seniors, they're the pioneers. They played 8-on-8 for 3 years, but one of them was a COVID year. So how much practice did you get? How much, So really, essentially, they played the last 2 years, and I think it just shows you the leadership they have over there at their school. So I mean, this is a quantum leap, but the kids are buying into it. So and like I said, this senior class, they're setting the tone for it.
That's awesome. Well, I love that they're making that leap to an 11-man team.
Yeah.
This is exciting for them. So that was PCA. That's brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. I think we got time for one more before we go to break. We doing Blackman next?
Yeah,
Ronnie?
we'll go Blackman.
Let's go with Blackman.
All right.
And Blackman is brought to you by Dr. Brandon Harden, and he is with Highland Family Medicine and Reflect Wellness.
Okay, this was Brentwood 38, Blackman 14. The debut of Matt Kreisky, who's the twin brother of Will over at Riverdale. This is another one that falls in that category. Sometimes you got to tip your hat. Brentwood was just a better team. And to compound the problems, for example, Blackman falls behind 7-0 early. They drive all the way the length of the field, and then they get a false start penalty. It backs them up, and then they end up not scoring when they went for it on 4th down. A lot of penalties, fumble. They were just outmanned in this game. Brentwood's, they're probably a top 10-ish team in the state. So I mean,
they got a good program.
Yeah, always do. And but it's a rebuilding year. I think they started 3 guys on offense that ever played a varsity game.
Wow.
So I mean, they did have some bright spots. I thought their quarterback Connor Gregory did a good job. He throws the ball well. He made a few mistakes, but for a first start, here's a kid that's waited 3 years. He's a senior and he's never been a starter. So while he knows the offense and he's physically able to do it, he hadn't been able to do it. So it may take him a little time. Caden Perkins did score the first touchdown, and Jabari Kemp scored his first career touchdown. He's a sophomore running back, good-looking running back, and
good future with him,
Yeah, and Trey McGaffey on defense was all over the place. Had two interception. They had one really long kickoff return. So they did things that you can build on, but that went about the way I thought it would go.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you feel? Under first-year coach, getting a new program, you think Kreisky's the man, and he's gonna?
Yeah, I mean,
get it going?
they've had so much instability out there with their coaches. Man, they'll stay a year or two and then they're gone. And Matt was over at Centennial for 2 or 3 years, but he lived here in Murfreesboro, so it was perfect for him. And he'll do a good job. You got to take your lumps sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's not to mean that they can't have success this year, because as I said, that's probably a top 10 team in Brentwood.
Well, he's familiar with playing them.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to you're not going to play them every night. You know, there's going to be some windows of opportunity to have some success.
Yeah. Yeah, the Kreiskes, they got a whole family dynasty over here in Rutherford County.
Got a good week to talk smack. Actually, I don't think they talk. I think they talk every day, but they don't talk during that week.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what the deal is.
Well, that was our Blackman segment. That's brought to you by Dr. Brandon Harden with Highland Family Medicine and Reflect Wellness. All right, Monty, I think it's time we take a commercial break. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Cover the rest of the team's recaps, and then we'll be moving on to previews here in a little bit.
I'm Dr. Webb. I'm the owner and operator of Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both. We do some minimally invasive stuff, facials and some of the Botox and things like that, but we also do more invasive surgeries, liposuction, and we even do hair transplants here too. Come visit us at drshanewebb.com and find out more about our services.
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
When it comes to building or remodeling, you need a builder you can trust. Look no further than Garbison Construction. Voted one of Rutherford County's best builders, we deliver quality every time, from start to finish. As a locally owned company with decades of experience, we're proud to serve Rutherford and surrounding counties. Let us help make your dream a reality. Visit garbisonconstruction.com to learn more.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out, he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Back at Toots here with Monty. All right, our next segment's going to be Rockvale. Rockvale is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest specialist serving all of Middle Tennessee. Oh, can we do that again? Let's just do that again. All right. We're back here at Toots. Nick Gould with Monty Hale. Our next segment's going to be Rockvale High. Rockvale is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service, serving all of Middle Tennessee. What do you got for us, Monty?
All right, tough one here for Rockvale. You know, a year ago they were 4-1 going into playing Nolensville, and Brandon Mayhew, their starting quarterback, broke his leg. They lost a couple other players. Rockvale didn't win again. So I know they've been really looking forward to this game. Mayhew's back, and they led most of this game. But then at the very end, Nolensville scored and won 21-20. Rockvale got the ball back late, but you know it was kind of a long throw with a chance. But so a disappointing start for Rockvale. Mayhew had a solid game, 190 yards and a score. Brishan Odell, 80 yards rushing. Jalen Morgan, 80 yards receiving. Defensively, Cam Frierson, big night. 12 tackles, 2 sacks, and forced a fumble.
Wow.
So that's a good month. But, you know, like I said, just one of those nights where it didn't go their way. You know, Coach Guthrie said we just left too much out on the field. And, you know, what he was saying was they dropped a touchdown pass and they had 2 touchdowns called back. So, you know, getting out again, I wasn't at that game, but you got a pretty good feel from Coach Guthrie that they kind of owned that game. They should have won that game. So I guess the big thing is, how will they bounce back this week?
Right. Well, yeah, tough loss, but I mean, when the touchdowns get called back, and I mean that's just That's just rough, you know. You think they'll bounce back, you know, next week?
Yeah, I do. They'll play at Smyrna, but they've got quality players out there. The big thing for them is just moving forward, put it in the can. And it's only the first game.
Yeah, it's a long season. They still got 9 more games. So that was our Rockville segment, brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Moving on, we got Oakland next. Oakland's brought to you by the Yard Sale Store. The Yard Sale Store, all items are up to 90% off. What do you got for us, Monty?
All right, Patriots win 34-14 over Independence. A lot of new faces for Oakland. You know, before the season even started, T.T. Hill was an outstanding running back as a sophomore last year, left and transferred to Brentwood Academy. Avery Hainsworth is another good running back for them. Albert Hainsworth's son, he's out till middle or end of October.
Comes from good stock there, huh?
Yeah. But they got a transfer, Dwayne Morris from Red Bank. He's a 4-star recruit. He had a big game. He had touchdown runs of 62 and 66 yards, rushed for 144. Ashton Jones, 13 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oakland, despite having lost one, and another one's out with injury, they still ran for 347 yards.
Powerhouse.
Kyler Creasy, coach of the son, Kevin, efficient, 6 of 11, 100 yards, and a touchdown, completed a deep one to Morris, I believe it was. But yeah, defensively, Trey Johnson, 11 tackles, Corey Smith, 10 tackles, and Oakland had 5 sacks. So Oakland's going to be really good defensively. It'll probably be a little bit of a work in progress offensively, although you wouldn't have known it by the other night against Independence. I know Independence is typically a pretty solid program. You know, I don't know what they lost or what from last year, but it was a good win for Oakland. You know, there's been a lot of questions. I tell you what they do though, they buy in, the players buy in to their system. It may be a junior before you play, but you've already, those guys that step in, they already know success. They haven't lost a freshman game. They haven't lost a JV game. So when their number's called, they're ready to go in and play. Now, they got a couple sophomores playing. If you see a sophomore playing for Oakland, you can pretty much bet he is an all-state big-time recruit. So that's the way, you know, we talked about things go in cycles. You take a dip, but then you come back. They've yet to take a dip. They have not lost a region game since Kevin Creasy came there 8 years ago.
Really?
Yes. So it looked like business as usual for Oakland.
Think they're going to repeat this year? State
I don't know. That's you know,
that'd be 4 in a row, wouldn't it?
It would be 4. They're looking for the 4th in a row. You know, that team to the east, Maryville.
Yeah.
They would have to go there this year, I think. If it came down to that semifinals matchup, so they've won there once. So we shall see.
We shall see. All right, that's our Oakland segment brought to you by the Yard Sale Store. Yard Sale Store has items up to 90% off. Let's move on. We got MTCS. MTCS is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. What do you got for us?
I tell you what, MTCS wins 33-31 in 3 overtimes. And I do a pick segment in the paper each week. I picked MTCS to win this game 35-34. I just thought it was going to be super close and like a playoff atmosphere, like a playoff game. You know, 2 evenly matched teams. And, you know, you see 33-31, you're thinking, well, that was a big shootout. Actually, not really, considered they played 3 overtimes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the defenses were very solid. And then you got to the overtime period, nobody could score. Or they couldn't score, they couldn't get an extra point. You know, both teams missed a conversion, after the first. No, neither team scored in the second one. And in the third, Gabe Howe scored on a 5-yard run, and then he ran in the conversion for the victory. So that was a big time win for that program to go on the road. Columbia Academy has got a lot of tradition, and it tells me they might have something special going for them this year.
That's awesome. You get the touchdown and then you line back up and, the same guy just takes it right in. That's a special win for them.
I will also mention Eli Wilson, 3 touchdowns, rushed for 115 yards, and Yates Guerin threw 2 TD passes for the Cougars.
Despite, changing coaches, they still had some success. It seems
Yeah,
like
they have. I tell you one thing they've got a pretty good situation too. They their youth program, their middle school team. They don't have a freshman team. Most of them just go straight to varsity. So they're pretty consistent in what they do. Now, they may change how they do some things schematically, but they've been able to overcome losing coaches.
Well, that's our MTCS segment, brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your friendly neighborhood pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. And we got one more recap. We got Stewart's Creek. Stewart's Creek is brought to you by Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give them a call.
All right, 21-7, Stewart's Creek, winner over Tullahoma. Good solid road win. I thought the Creek would handle that. I tell you, Javarian Ote, he's the kind of player you want on your team. He is a running back, but this guy, he brings it every night. Hit touchdown runs of 66 and 50 yards, and he had another 90-yard touchdown reception. So big night for him. Certainly over 200 yards in total offense. One unique thing about Smyrna this year is, Stewart's Creek, they've lost some players, but they've had some younger guys that are going to step up for them. They got a first-year starting quarterback in Jacob Jones, and kind of like we were talking about managing the game, he managed the game really well. Threw for 120 yards and a touchdown, and they also got 73 yards rushing out of Caleb Floyd. So kind of a little two-headed monster there, but certainly Ote, everybody knows he's going to get the ball. He played 9 games last year and rushed for almost 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns.
What a season. Probably do about the same this year. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a 1,000-yard back for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Javarian Ote, right?
Yeah,
back?
Javarian Ote. Yeah.
All right. Anything else with Stewart's Creek?
No, we're good with them.
All right. Well, that was our Stewart's Creek segment, brought to you by Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give them a call. And that closes out our recap segments for the week. Stick with us as we cover previews, followed by our game of the week.
I do the surgeries. My sister and the rest of my staff do the minimally invasive.
We graduated medical school and nursing school the same day, and I had things that I believed in and stood by that I wasn't willing to compromise on. So when he came home, we had to discuss that we were on the same page with how we treated patients and staff. We want them to feel like they're part of our family. We are part of the community. You can trust us and that we want to make you happy.
I'm blessed through the blood of Christ, with a beautiful wife and family, to have served in the United States Navy, now serving the great town of Smyrna, and blessed that all of our boys went to Stewart's Creek. I'm Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage, with over 20 years experience in mortgage lending. If you're buying your first house or your fifth, refinancing or building your dream home, please call or email me, or come see me at the South Lowry branch. It would bless me to assist in financing your dreams. Why the Hawaiian shirt? Closing on your home is a celebration, not a business meeting. Go Hawks!
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out, he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Thanks for sticking with us. We got our previews coming up. First game we got is Community at Eagleville. Who you got, Monty?
All righty. Well, not in the same region anymore. Used to be. Eagleville's kind of owned this series, and I think they'll own this game on Friday night. We'll be interested to see how they pick things up offensively, or if they do. Know their defense is going to be there. But I'm going to pick Eagleville 27-6.
All right. Go Eagles. Next we got MTCS at Master and Academy.
All right. MTCS going to the state of Florida to play Masters Academy, of which I know zero about. I will be honest.
You haven't covered them yet?
I have not been there. I saw some stuff on them. They've got a pretty good program. So, who knows? It's a road game. It'd be fun for them to go out of state and play. Has no bearing on their, region or nothing. But I'm gonna take MTCS. I'll be a homer here.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll pick MTCS 31-30.
All right. A close one. You think they'll go to overtime again?
No overtimes.
All right, moving on. We got Oakland at Center Grove. That's in Indianapolis. Another out-of-state game there.
Yeah. Oakland, winners of 3 straight championships. Center Grove, winner of 3 straight state championships.
Wow.
So, this will be high-level football.
Yeah.
Very high-level football. Somebody asked Coach Kevin Creasy, he liked going that far away to play. He goes, "No, I'd rather drive an hour and play, but that's what we got, so we'll see what we do." Again, don't know a whole lot about them. They're obviously very good. Oakland's very good. I'm going to stick with Oakland. I have not picked them to lose a game
Why would you?
in 3 years, so I see no reason to now. I'll take Oakland 34-20.
I like how, if you're the best in the state, you got to go to a different state, to kind of see the competition elsewhere, you know what I mean? And actually see, how good you really are. So
Yeah.
It'll be a good test. All right, moving on. We got Cannon County at PCA. Who you got, Monty?
All right, I think this will be a close game. By the way, again, they are playing at MTSU Friday night. Cannon County lost its opener to Monterey 25-14. PCA falls 14-0. I think it'll be a close game. I'm gonna pick Cannon County 13-12.
Okay, a close one, huh? Moving on, we got Riverdale at Henry County.
Okay, Riverdale coach Will Kreisky going home. He played there back
Really?
in the day, so he's going home. Tough road trip. Pretty good, pretty long road trip. Henry County's very solid. Boy, they really support. That town goes nuts on Fridays. I mean, it's a pretty neat place to go to a football game. I think Riverdale's just too talented for them, and I'll take the Warriors 28-14.
Okay. Next, we got Blackman at Stewart's Creek.
Ooh, here's that game. I don't know who said it years ago. Some coach, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they say you typically make your most improvement in a football season from week 1 to week 2. Well, here's 2 teams that are hoping that happens. Blackman had a rough one with Brentwood. Stewart's Creek did not. Blackman is the one that's open. I was looking at my schedule wrong. I think Stewart's Creek's got some good things going. I think Blackman will play a whole lot better, though, in that regard, and I'll take Stewart's Creek 24-17.
Okay. Next, we got Rockville at Smyrna.
Okay. Same thing. You got Smyrna hoping they make the most improvement. You got two teams coming off losses, different kind of losses. One, a blowout that was never close from the get-go, and Smyrna losing to Riverdale, and Rockville leading most of the game and having it snatched from them. So you'll see how one team's ability to bounce back after a gut-wrenching loss versus one that, got it handed to them. They want to make a much better performance this week. I think Rockville, as long as they stay healthy, they're going to be a really good team this year. I look for them to win 28-13.
All right, that wraps up our previews. We still got one more left. It's going to be our game of the week. Stick with us through the commercial.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both. We do some minimally invasive stuff. We also do more invasive surgeries.
I meet with patients who are ready to schedule surgery. We talk about their pre-op appointments, what to expect before surgery, what to expect during and after surgery, answer any questions they have, meet family members, explain surgeries and aftercare to them.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Thanks for sticking with us. We're back here at Toots. We have one more preview. This is going to be our game of the week. Game of the week is always going to be between two Rutherford County schools. This week, Siegel versus Laverne.
All right. Well, if you go by the first week, something's got to give. Laverne won last week with 9 points. Siegel needed 55 to win. They gave up 43. So I don't think Siegel's going to score 55 on Laverne, but I don't know that Laverne is going to score 43 on Siegel. I think it'll be a close game. They're fairly evenly matched. I think where Siegel has the big advantage is certainly at quarterback, and he made, like I said, he made that statement loud and clear last week with the 7 touchdown performance by Thomas Santil. But I'm going to go with Siegel. I'm going to say 28-16.
Oh, we got Siegel. All right. Well, this has been a great episode. I love highlighting football here in Rutherford County. Big shout out to our sponsors, presenting sponsor Web Aesthetics, for really helping make this TV show a reality. Come back with us next week. We'll be on air at 10:30 every Tuesday here at Toots. Have a good week.
You've been watching the Rutherford County High School Football Show with Murfreesboro Post sports editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould. Read this week's Murfreesboro Post for all the latest news about Rutherford County High School sports. The Rutherford County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Web Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, Moxie Pest Control, The Yard Sale Store, Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage, Dr. Brandon Hardin with Highland Family Medicine and Reflect Wellness, Garbison Construction, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Rutherford County football.